So what are this mysterious stock, this quiet stealth stock that no one's really focusing on? Well, they're from the US. They've been around since the 1800s, and their stock price growth has been very, very good indeed. So who are they? Let's find out right now. Now, the company in question is called Eli Lilly, ticker LLY. Like I said, they're from the States, a big, massive pharmaceutical company founded in 1876 by Colonel Eli Lilly. Now, there's many pharmaceutical companies around the world. So why do I like them so much? Well, I think they're at the forefront of modern world ailments. They're positioned massively well for today's world, today's illnesses. Cancer, diabetes, they are the insulin brand. Depression, arthritis, those sort of ailments that are growing and need more and more care, time, research, medicines, and they are there. If you want to visit their website, www.lilly.com, tell you a lot more about them. But why I picked on them is, they're not talked about like the big guys, and not even your Pfizers or Modernas or that sort of thing, or even the tech stocks that we see, your Apples, Amazons, those type of guys. But, if we look at the stock price in a minute, their growth has been very good. And it's been very quiet. This is why I call them the mystery quiet stock that no one's really talking about that much, when really maybe investors, traders should be focusing on them a little bit more. So let's head into some charts to see what's been going on. So this is a real long-term look at Eli Lilly's stock price. We've gone back about 10 years of history. It's a weekly Heikin-Ashi chart. And the first takeaway, slap bang in the middle there, that percentage gain over the last 10 years, 1200%, massive. But just look from sort of the early part of spring this year, superb growth there. Let's just put a percentage number around that as well. So from March to now, 86, 87%. It's got to be one of the best performers on any stock market anywhere over that period and that sort of size of organisation. It's been a very good journey for them, as I pointed out earlier. You can see it was like a steady growth period for most of the time, but really has taken off, like I said, since spring of this year. Not a lot of volume by price up there at the moment, all the way down at $76, the point of control sort of area. If we are being a bit negative about them, where could they pull off to? $481, that next Fibonacci line, the next key Fibonacci line, $388 around there. So if you start to get that, you might see a sort of a heads and shoulders, and that would be very bad for the organisation, because that means to be back down to the late 100s to $200 mark. But upside wise, longer term, if we're being really optimistic about them, then we're talking 750, the next target, and then 830 sort of area. I'm using those Fibonacci's as the guide. So there you go. That is why I think they're not being talked about enough. That growth, 1200% over a decade, really, really good. Backed up by some good fundamentals in my opinion. So let's dig into some price action a bit more. So looking at the longer term line break chart, I use a 4 line break chart here. Not much for the upside. Yeah, it's actually giving us a short play. Now I use a more aggressive 4-2 entry. So that last line there drawn was the conservative one. Daily chart, this one. And we're talking bearish reversals in play. So if you are bearish, Eli Lilly at 573.5 and then 555.5, let's call it. Let's round it to that for potential downsides. or you could be patient, wait for the price to come off and then buy the dip on up. But using the line break chart is a brilliant tool for helping your timing get in there. Let's dive into the Renko chart next. Used a $3.50 block size, and we got most of 2023 here on the chart. Let's head to the indicators at the bottom. Bullish stochastics, bullish adjusted DMI there, so all looking good and rosy, trading above the 200 moving average, which is all very good. And also see the green red lines there, that's my Davos box breakout modified system. It allows you to add positions as you go up, following the trend. And we've got another, well, it was back in mid-August buy situation going on at the moment. Let's have a look at the volume by the price. The point of control 358 all the way back down there. Some arcs in the volume there. So if we got a pullback, we could see it heading to the 525 area, then very quickly to 465 to 430. Then after that down to, like I say, that point of control 360. Let's put on some Fibonacci's, see where that price could be heading if we're remaining bullish. Let's go to the lows which were there back in March. Drag that out a bit so we can see it a bit better. Let's look at potential upsides and whether any of those Fibonacci's marry in with the volume. What have we got? Upside. So if it continues on upwards, we've got next stop 676, 717, and then 776, 780 sort of zone. Fibonacci pullback 535, key one 61.8, line around 487, and I suppose the next one is that 50% line 453 that starts to see that bigger volume building up. So that's a serious pullback there into that zone. Under that, then, like I said, it breaks down towards that 375 sort of dollar mark, or will probably slow down actually because there's a lot of buffers in there with other price action and indicators. But if we are bullish, it's looking pretty decent to the upside. You've got to ask yourself a question: how long before investors start taking a bit of profits and giving you the chance to buy the dips? But at the moment, the chart's looking very good for Eli Lilly. Let's quickly take a look at some trade options ideas for Eli Lilly. From a bullish perspective, nothing really amazing here or new in thinking, just some standard type of trades. On the right hand side, if you are less bullish, let's call it weak bullish, you might want to create some income and roll the trade up, and you could put on a credit spread using puts. Here in this example, I'm doing like monthly rollovers. You're going to get $320 for this trade. 555, 575 puts, October 13 expiry. So it's an idea there if you want to roll up, if you're remaining moderately bullish of Eli Lilly in the longer term, or just some outright plays here. Shorter term, call at the money. Quite expensive, I suppose, considering the stock price as well. What can we say about it? If the price goes to about $800, 3 months, maybe unlikely, but that is a massive return there, 5 or 500%, maybe more likely as we saw from the charts. So $650 maybe, even that's going to give you a 79% return, which 10% move in the price possible. But yeah, some good upside there. But if you're in for the real long term, right there on the left, we've got a 750 call, June next year expiry. You're going to need it to move quite a bit to start making you some money. But it gets to that 800 mark, then it's 180% return. So very nice trade. Just some random ideas there for you. Plenty more options plays or structures you can put together, but just something to get you thinking. So now let's give Eli Lilly my score. Unsurprisingly, I'm going bullish Eli Lilly. The detail of what we've analysed is in this table here. We start on the top right. We've got bullish fundamentals and sentiment. That line break chart, potential bearish entry 572, 558. Renko, short, medium term, long term, all bullish. Some stop levels if you're feeling a bit more aggressive for a longer term or medium term hold around that sort of chart we looked at. In terms of risk return, upside, 1.88, 2.88 to 1 with those price targets, and to the downside 1.81 and 3.171. Factor in, like we still looked at, those options plays around those sort of numbers, the charts that we've looked at. But overall, it's looking quite healthy at the moment for Eli Lilly. So Eli Lilly looking very strong at the moment, and that is my stock that I think's not been talked about that much, but as you could see, huge growth over the last 10 years, and they're positioned very nicely for further growth. Now let me know in those comments below whether you agree, disagree. What other stocks out there are not that talked about but are potentially big winners in the future? Now always do your own due diligence and risk around taking any trades. This is just an idea for you, something to get you thinking about, but like I said, looks a really good stock fundamentally and technically at the moment. And if you want to learn more about what the sort of analysis I've done in this video, I've got a great playlist. It's called Ultimate Free Trading Program. It's a playlist I've built all in the Stock Punter channel, completely free. Work your way from top to bottom and it'll cover off all aspects of trading, all markets, risk management, trade management, psychology, strategy. It's all in there, all thrown it in. Get started, get learning, and hopefully get better at trading. But like I said, Eli Lilly, that's the focus of today's video. A good stock certainly to take a look at. So with that, thanks for watching. Good luck with the trading, and a link to that playlist coming up right now.